You're watching Nissan SportsBeat. Nissan, innovation that excites.
And he's done it. He strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And Jake Arrieta has thrown his first career no-hitter.
It's the 14th no-hitter in Cubs history, 6th no-hitter this season. Jake had 12 strikeouts in the game. What a performance. Welcome to SportsBeat. The wait is almost over. College football kicks off this week, and it all starts right here in Utah. The nation will be watching as Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as Michigan head coach. Now, while Harbaugh and his khakis get all the attention, what better time for the Utes to show the country what kind of team they are?
It better be Rocket, man. This is a big game, man. I can't wait. I can't sleep at night because I be thinking about it so much, you know what I mean? But it should be Rocket, man.
2nd and 10. Another wide open receiver over the middle. Drez Anderson, touchdown.
Definitely excited that it's finally here. We've had a great fall camp and had a great off season, so I think everybody's excited to kind of get our season underway and start playing some other opponents.
He got planted by Tevin Carter.
We're at the point, I guess our guys are almost say, please fly them out early, put a ball down, and we'll play with nobody in the stands, and we'll just play a game, and then they can go home and come back in a week and we'll play again, just so we can hit somebody different.
Steps into a nice pocket and throws, intercepted.
What is it you want to accomplish in the next few practices to get there?
Just keep cleaning things up. Fewer and fewer mental mistakes. That's really the key. The game plans have been in now for several days, detailed, and we've got to make sure that we continue to cut down on the mental mistakes. Anytime you're in an opener, it's best guess scenario what you're going to see. So you got to prepare for a lot of stuff, and you got to be pretty basic, you know, with your game plans so you can adapt and adjust to whichever direction they're going.
And the pass is picked off for a touchdown.
What have you noticed that they're different or better than they were a year ago when you beat them?
We didn't really watch no type of, Michigan film to see if they're better or, but we, they got a different defense coordinator this year from Florida, so we've been watching a lot of Florida film and stuff like that. As I said before, we ain't watched no Michigan film really from last year. We know what they like to do, but other than that, we've been really watching the Florida film.
We don't really have a lot of stuff to really study because we're just going off the spring game, but from what we've seen, I feel like we can match up with those guys, and we're just ready to come out and play and show them what our defense is about.
Offensively, they're going to try to run the football, a power run game, West Coast offense style of throwing game, and Coach Harbaugh, he knows what he wants to do. He's done it for a lot of years and done it very well, and we don't expect a lot of deviation from that.
It's always kind of been my mantra to tell the guys all that stuff we've been teaching the last 2 weeks, don't even think about it. Line up, get lined up right, and go like hell.
That is great advice. Well, then 2 days after Utah hosts Michigan, BYU makes the trip to Lincoln to take on Nebraska. The Huskers haven't lost a season opener at home since 1985, losing 17-13 to Florida State. But the Cougars will enter Memorial Stadium with confidence, and the expectations of BYU haven't changed.
BYU will hang on.
Does that lead to high expectations, would you say?
BYU always has high expectations. I like what I saw. We're healthy, we're fast, we look physical.
We're very capable of going in and competing and beating all these teams, and so I look at it as a lot of opportunity for us as a football program and me individually.
Follows the blocks, he's got room, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Nebraska!
Is there any familiarity with knowing that Mike Riley's the head coach out there?
No, yeah, not only Mike Riley, but some of their assistant coaches, so yeah, I mean, that'll be, I think one of the reference points is we'll use, and I'm sure they will as well, the Oregon State BYU games, which were good games. I think we played 3 times with these staff members, and so yeah, I look forward to it, and there might be some differences too, but a good starting point.
Nebraska was, great football team last year, and they wanted to make some changes because they weren't good enough, right? Like, it's going to be a big physical football team, and that's what I expect, and we're ready for the time.
Yeah, that's the best feeling, the first game, when you get to hit the quarterback, because yeah, you get kind of sick and tired of,
always going and patting them on the back and running by, and then they don't call it sometimes, and they get yards and points and things go against you. So it's going to be fun when we get to go out there and hit the quarterback.
Independence, we've had so many new staffs, first game things, so our results have been pretty strong. You just do the best you can. I think whenever you make a mistake, it's to focus too much on your opponent. I don't think the game plan is really what controls the opener. It's usually how well you've prepared your own team.
I think personnel-wise is primarily what I've been looking at their stuff. And then otherwise, I mean, it's a coach that we're familiar with. He's familiar with us. And scheme-wise, I think that's where a lot of our scheme prep will come from.
In 1990, BYU shocked the nation by upsetting #1 Miami in Provo. Now, as the 25th anniversary of that program-changing game approaches, we sat down with Lavelle Edwards and 3 of his captains on that team, including Ty Detmer, to relive what many believe to be the biggest win in BYU football history.
When you looked at the schedule to start the season, did that game pop out at you as a great opportunity?
Oh, big time. We knew that was our chance to really gain some credibility across the country.
It was a special night for sure. You know, Miami came in as the #1 team in the country and full of confidence.
And not only were #1, but they had been up there for a while, and they had had some great teams there.
They won the national championship the year before, and when we saw they were on the schedule, everyone was excited.
We had played them a couple years earlier in the Orange Bowl, and were able to move the ball quite a bit and scored a lot of points. Unfortunately, that year we didn't stop them, and I think they scored about 50 points. So going into that game, we were confident, but we knew we had to play our best to beat them.
You know, we won some big games, but we never played a #1, let alone beating a #1. Lavelle's mantra, you know, you're going to play like you practice. You're only as good as your preparation. So taking that to heart, I think everybody gave it their all.
Really what college football is all about. You know, as a college football player, you want to be able to play in something like that. And so, you know, as players, we were excited that we had that opportunity.
Even the questions from the media that week before, they would ask me, "You think you're going to win?" And I would say, absolutely, we're going to win. Guys mentally walking out on the field, we took the field like we owned the field. Miami was there, #1 team in the country, but we weren't going to take a backseat to anyone that day.
When it came to playing Miami, I don't think the expectations were all that high.
Let's stick it to these guys. You know, they're not all that.
Tonight, we have the top-ranked Hurricanes of Miami University invading Provo, Utah to take on the 16th-ranked Cougars of Brigham Young University.
It was a night game, ESPN. Back then, that kind of meant something. You know, that was the game that night.
The electricity in the air that night was special. It was different. The crowd was crazy. And we knew going in we had a chance.
They need just about the 40 from the backside hit. The ball is fumbled.
You turned it over a couple of times in the first quarter. Did that give you some gray hair?
Yeah, it did. Well, what little bit I had left.
We knew we were just beating ourselves, and they weren't stopping us. We were moving the ball at will against them, and we knew it would continue if we could just eliminate the mistakes.
Draw play. Salito loses the ball at the 21-yard line. McGuire, right side, he'll score.
Okay, it's just 7-0. I mean, we score some points at BYU, you know. 7-0's nothing, you know. Yeah, you know, you put yourself in a hole like that against a good team. At times it can be tough to overcome, but again, we had experience and we had guys that were confident and that knew we could play better than those first 2 series showed.
No one was panicking. Everybody was just regrouping really well and then looking to execute again.
You know, I got out of trouble a lot that night with just a couple steps here or there, and tell quarterbacks all the time, you don't have to be fast, but you got to be quick in a small area. And when you're scared, you're a lot quicker. So with their pass rush, I just remember, you know, eluding a couple guys, stepping up, sliding out. The linebacker came up, and Bellini did a great job of slipping behind him and found him right there in the corner, and it kind of got things going and got the crowd really into it, and the rest of the team, you know, the momentum started turning, like you said.
Not only was he a phenomenal quarterback, he was like a coach on the field, and we knew he would put us in the right positions to win ball games. Luckily, he kind of has like an aw shucks type of personality, but you get him in a competitive environment, and he lets it go.
I think that focus and a mental mindset going into a game like that, you know, you're all in. You know, there's no holding back. This is it. You know, everybody's all in, and let's go get it. BYU's known for, let's kick it in gear and let's put a drive together. I mean, we throw the ball. That's what we do, and let's get out of bounds, you know, work the clock and see if we can't get something before half. And that was really big going into halftime with a lead. Their defense is on their heels. They're tired, that altitude's kicking in, and they had to work, you know, that last series right before half, and we come away with the score and able to take the lead. Now doubt's creeping into their mind, and they're starting to get a little winded, and, you know, you can see their offense, you know, they're kind of chipping at each other, balls underthrown or one's dropped, and guys are starting to get on each other. They're getting frustrated, and that, you know, that was big right going in before half with the lead.
So we're going to halftime, we're up, and that just added to the confidence, right? We can play with these guys. There ain't nothing we haven't seen.
At the time, I thought, man, we're hanging in there pretty good.
We got them right where we want them. If we take care of the ball, take care of what we're supposed to do, and keep getting after it, you know.
Now that is only half of the story. When we come back, a defensive stand and one of the greatest plays in BYU history.
And when they hit, it was kind of like slow motion happened, you know, where I remember thinking, oh, man, I got lucky getting out of that one because I had no idea he was coming.
Yeah, it's one of the most memorable plays in BYU history. Ty Detmer's magic act against Miami as our 25th anniversary story continues.
This is kind of the top of my bucket list. I want to come watch my favorite team play at their home stadium and enjoy some baseball.
And a moving story as we mourn the loss of Ryan Tomac. We show you how the final wish was granted for this former Tooele baseball player.
You're watching Nissan Sports Beat. Nissan, innovation that excites.
The beat rolls on, and so does our look back at BYU's win over #1 Miami 25 years ago. When you think of the BYU teams of old, you think of star quarterbacks and a record-setting pass game. But to beat #1 Miami, the Cougars would need their defense to step up, and they did so in a big way.
We got them right where we want them. If we take care of the ball, take care of what we're supposed to do, and keep getting after it, you know.
Down deep, you know, I expected them to come out and be a lot tougher or whatever. Like maybe that would caught them a little flat or whatever, but we just hung in there and played very well, played great defensively is what we did.
What really stands out to me about that game is that our defense was the key.
Where we controlled everything was right up front. So Mark Smith, Pete Harston, Rick Wilson were penetrating or pushing back their All-Americans and just controlling that whole line of scrimmage. It just allowed us to do a lot of things that we wanted to do with that. I remember Rocky Beagle and I going in for a sack. I remember Rich Kafusi making tackles for losses. I remember our strong safeties making all those tackles out on the perimeter. And then Brian Mitchell, stride for stride with Randall Hill.
And Miami was driving. They were on their own half of the field, I think maybe their own 40-yard line. And they had a 4th and 1, and they went for it. And Rich Kafusi stuffed them.
He's the emotional leader of this defensive team. Watch, he gets small, and then he gets big, head-on short yardage. He makes the stop, a tremendous play by Kafusi.
And when Rich, you know, beat his man and stuffed their halfback in the backfield for a loss, it got the offense energized.
Now it's Lavelle's turn to make the big decision right here. 4th and short.
You know, Lavelle decided, hey, we're going for the win. Let's go for it. There's so many, you look back at key plays of the game. There's 4th down. There's the defense stopping on a 4th and 1.
Inside, and with that move, has the first down.
You know, that was another one of those key plays that if you don't get that, momentum may go the other way because they were a dangerous team. I mean, they had some guys, and if you let it get away from you, you could go in a hurry, and we were able to kind of fight and claw our way and stay in it and make more of those plays than they made.
Detmer gets away. Touchdown! Salino!
I just remember being almost like a spectator, just, you know, watching Ty run around and elude defenders.
I felt the guy coming from the front side. I had no idea there was another one coming from behind.
I think the end came in totally unblocked or something. It looked like he was going to rip tie right in two, and he kind of ducked underneath.
He jukes 2 tackles. They run into each other, right? Russell Maryland, I think another guy.
And when they hit, it was kind of like slow motion happened, you know, where I remember thinking, oh, man, I got lucky getting out of that one because I had no idea he was coming.
I don't know how he does all that, you know. No one looks downfield better than him.
That was a huge play for us.
Fakes it to Conley. Oh, he had his man open, and he is going to be sacked by Mark Smith.
Our defense won that football game for us.
They came up with some stops that fourth quarter that reminiscent of the 84, 83 days where that defense really rose up and our guys rose to the challenge.
So we knew if anything was going to happen, it was going to happen that quarter. A lot of big plays had to be made. I just remember Irvin Lee.
Intercepted by Lee.
He was a freshman, true freshman, and he was playing back there in defense and against the #1 team in the country.
You know, when Irvin did that, man, Irvin was doing stuff like that at practice all the time, but he was never the guy. And then he comes in and he just does what he did in practice, you know, and he bats it away, but he's playing against Randall Hill, you know. Yeah. So Brian Mitchell was our man, right? He was our lockdown corner. He was the fastest guy on the team. But because he was doing his job, they were going to go to someone else, and they thought they could pick on this, you know, guy that didn't play very much, you know, this backup corner. And he just came through. It was awesome. It was a proud moment for everybody. So from the defense to the special teams to the offense, everyone came in and did exactly what it was designed to do and then came through and executed, right?
Couldn't have been more proud of those guys because, you know, you expect BYU to outscore an opponent, and those guys kept us in it all night and then won it at the end.
He's going to go for incomplete, knocked down by Irvin Lee. Randall Hill was the man he wanted.
The clock is running and we're just hugging each other. I love you, you know, all this stuff.
And so many people had to play well for it to go off like it did. And to sit there on the sideline and really have it sink in that we just beat the #1 team in the country, and to watch this fan storm onto the field, it was a real adrenaline rush.
And I remember, you know, the crowd rushing the field, and I was thinking, man, I got to get to the locker room. the team's going to be in there. I'm going to be the last one in. I got to get in there. And I get up on the railing, and I shimmy to the tunnel, and I run up in there, and I was the only guy in the locker room for about 5 minutes. I'm like, man, I probably could have celebrated a little bit that night, but, you know, it was kind of funny sitting around with nobody to celebrate with, and just, you know, an exciting feeling for the whole program.
I remember it was 2 Tongan girls came, and they picked me up off my feet. They picked me up off my feet and carried me around the field, you know. I was going, hey, this is great, you know. But just to see everybody else's reaction to it, I was going, man, must be a big thing, you know, to be the #1 team like that and do it in our house like we did.
It was, you know, one of those satisfying feelings, you know, where you're like, man, we did it, you know, we made it happen.
Well, it's just one of those unbelievable things. It was almost like a script out of Hollywood, you know, because the reality of it ever really happening like that wasn't all, you know, all that great, but except that it happened. And that's one of the great things about sports and about, you know, about football, that there's just some unexplained reasons why certain things happen. You know, I give up trying to figure it out.
Thanks to Lavelle, Ty, Matt, and Alema for sharing their story. We now share with you the story of Ryan Tomac. Community in Tooele is mourning his loss tonight. He passed away Sunday at the age of 20 after battling a rare form of bone cancer. But before he died, this former Tooele baseball player and aspiring firefighter was granted one last wish. Sheriff Park has his story.
Covered in hearts, the home of Ryan Tomac is hard to miss.
It's overwhelming.
Messages of love.
Some of the people I've never met in my life.
And well wishes. 3 weeks ago, Ryan was told that after 26 rounds of chemotherapy and 2 surgeries,
I tried my hardest.
The rare form of bone cancer found 1 year ago in this former baseball player's shoulder,
and then just got some unfortunate news after,
had now taken over his body.
I told myself, you know, I don't want to know how long I got. I just want to enjoy every minute that I've got.
With Ryan's health declining, the community jumped into action.
We'll have $900 to give the family.
raising money to send Ryan and his family to Cincinnati to see his favorite baseball team play.
I got a hat about 6th grade that was a Cincinnati Reds hat. And it was my actual first, fitted hat.
Ryan played baseball at Tooele High School.
Tried to be a leader on the team.
And last week, the team retired his jersey.
It means something special. It means that you made such an impact.
Others have taken notice of Ryan's positive attitude in the face of adversity. At 20 years old, Ryan was training to become a firefighter. This past week, he got a surprise visit from the Tooele City Fire Department.
Ryan, on behalf of Tooele Fire Department, we'd like to present you with this plaque, making you an honorary member of our fire department.
It meant the world.
3 weeks ago, the unexpected happened to this Tooele family, but a community stepped up to the plate.
We're so humbled, and we're so proud to belong to Tooele.
With donations from the community, Ryan and his family drove close to 2,000 miles and last night walked into the dugout at Great American Ballpark. He was visibly exhausted, but home.
This is kind of the top of my bucket list. I want to come watch my favorite team play at their home stadium and enjoy some baseball.
The Reds welcomed Ryan onto their field to meet some of his favorite players, including Golden Glove winner Brandon Phillips.
It's cool to be able to shake their hands and talk to them a little bit. Actually get to kind of know how they actually act around people.
He got a jersey, a signed baseball, and VIP tickets. When we interviewed Ryan, we asked him why he loves this game.
It's the pop of a glove, the sound of a good hit ball, you know. It's hard to explain. It's something you just have to experience.
And last night, Ryan did, teaching us all that when life throws a curveball, you hit it out of the park.
I am very, very thankful. I'm very happy and just very at peace.
Wow, what a great thing the Tooele Fire Department and the Cincinnati Reds did for Ryan and the community of Tooele. Our thoughts and prayers are with Ryan's family and friends who mourn his loss. Well, now back to college football. Utah State and Southern Utah open up the season Thursday in Logan. Aggie head coach Matt Wells stopped by KSL earlier this afternoon to have a pregame chat with Rod.
All right, Coach, it's almost here. Thursday night in Logan, you take on Southern Utah. So talk about fall camp now that it's ended, just the next couple of days to get ready for your opener.
Well, it's ended last week, and then we started game prep right, really in the middle of the week, and tomorrow is like a Wednesday for us, and just because of the Thursday game. So most of the game prep is almost done and ready to get to game day Thursday night.
They still get asked every day about Chucky Keaton's knee.
Every day.
And what do you say?
Here's another day that I'm getting. He's good. He's really good, Rod. Strong. He's healthy. He's moving around really good. There's been no after effects really, and been a tremendous leader. He's had a really good camp, and just go out and watch him do his thing.
Defense obviously starts with your linebackers. Mm-hmm. Nick Vigil right there, ready to go.
Nick and Kyler both have played at a high level in camp, and those two guys are difference makers. They can, not only can they tackle well in space, but they can rush the passer, and they can pressure and blitz, and it's a favorable matchup for us when we get them in one-on-ones. But there's no question they lead the defense. I think Jordan Nielsen and Ricky Aliifua both provide veteran leadership up front. They're good, solid DNs for us, and we'll be led by the front seven. I like where we're at. In the secondary, there are some guys that have not done it yet on game day, especially at safety. But Jalen Davis is back at corner. We've got some other guys that have played in some good roles opposite him, as well as the corners. But, Kyler and Nick will lead that front seven, and hopefully we're just as productive on defense we've been the last 3 or 4 years.
Are you tired of having your guys hit each other and you're ready to hit somebody else?
They're tired of it. I'm tired of it. We're all tired of it. You're just ready to go play. And I know we're not going to be perfect Thursday night. I hope it's I hope it's a good outcome and a good performance. But there's going to be things to work on and go back to the drawing board in between week 1 and week 2. It's that way every year. But yeah, everybody's excited to start the season.
All right, Thursday night in Logan, it's the Aggies and the T-Birds of Southern Utah. Coach, good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. Can't wait. Now to locals in the NFL. Former Ute Jeremiah Patasi's moving up the Titans' depth chart. The third-round pick is now #1 at right tackle. Former Aggie Kerwin Williams trying to make the Cardinals roster. This will certainly help.
Just get the snap off, and then middle screen goes to Kerwin Williams. Swinging to the outside, Arizona touchdown.
Kerwin with a 10-yard touchdown catch tonight on Sunday Night Football. Of course, that's a game you saw right here on KSL. Trevor Riley trying to earn playing time with the New York Jets. This will help. Look at number 57, take down Eli Manning for the sack. Trevor would also add 2 tackles to his stat sheet as well. Zach Vigil has to be a lock now to make the Miami Dolphins roster. He was second on the team in tackles with 5 in the Dolphins' preseason win over the Atlanta Falcons.
Here's a 3rd and goal.
Stopping guys at the goal line, making plays.
Losing yardage is
it's all about the hair. Another undrafted free agent with a chance to make an NFL roster. Former BYU linebacker Wani Unga. He led the Giants with 8 tackles in the Giants' loss to the New York Jets. NFL preseason, and last night it got a little crazy, and it all started with the Ravens and the Redskins. Ravens' Kamar Aiken is going to haul in the pass from Joe Flacco. Then he gets pile-driven by Keenan Robertson. Well, as you'd expect, that didn't sit well at the Ravens, and here we go. And you know who's underneath all this? Right in the middle of it, yeah, that's Steve Smith, former Ute, backing up his teammate, as he should. This would continue on and on. Smith still going at it. He's not done expressing himself here. Now, while all this is going on, Ravens head coach John Harbaugh runs all the way across the field and goes at it with Redskins coach Jake Gruden. Save it for the regular season, guys. Man, the ref has a difficult task of sorting everything out.
There are multiple fouls in the play. Unnecessary roughness, 29 defense, 39 defense, 23 defense, 11 offense, and 89 offense. Number 89 of the offense is disqualified. Number 29 of the defense is disqualified.
Wow.
So, after all that, the guy that gets kicked out of the game is Steve Smith. He's sent packing. And then this came out on Twitter from Steve Smith's son, Peyton. When your dad gets ejected, saying it's the first time I've ever got to watch an NFL game with my dad. How classic is that? Get kicked out, then head up to the stands, watch the game with your family. I don't think that's ever happened before. Maybe it has, I don't know, but quite unique. You can't make that one up. Well, first of 4 FedEx Cup playoff tournaments on the PGA Tour. All 3 Utahns qualified in the top 125. After today's final round of the Barclays, the top 100 move on to next week's tournament. Tony Finau and Danny Summerhays had already secured a spot in next week's round. Zach Blair started the week 6 spots out. Could he get back?
The Murdoch Automotive No Regrets play of the game.
Finau. Tony had a rough day, but 2 over here on 18, but this was for Eagle. He drops that. Tony finished at 5 under. He's 32nd in the FedEx Cup standings heading into next week. Now, Zach Blair, what a move he made. Here on 16 for birdie, Zach finished 10 under, tied for 4th. Jumps 61 spots to 45th in the FedEx Cup and advances to next week. Good for Zach. Moments after Zach's putt, Summerhays for birdie on 18. Danny 9 under, tied for 6th. He jumps 26 spots to 40th in the standings and also moves on to next week. History on the course today. This is Brian Harman on the par 3 14th. He already had a hole-in-one on the 3rd hole. And he's got another. 2 holes in the same round. 2 holes in one in the same round. Only the 3rd person to ever do that on the PGA Tour. But not even that was enough to catch the hottest golfer in the world right now. PGA champion Jason Day. He was rolling in putts from the gallery. That one from 15. Jason Day, 19 under, wins the Barclays by 6 shots and is now #1 in the FedEx Cup standings, passing Jordan Spieth, who missed the cut.
The Super Sub of the Week is brought to you by Subway.
Utah Valley men's soccer kicked off its 2nd season on Friday, and they were thrilled to welcome back Tyler Brown. The senior returned to the pitch 9 months after getting hit by a car.
So right here, this is the tibial plateau fracture. I have a plate and 5 screws. This is the rod that they put the iron rod. It goes all the way up to there. And then over here is where I tore my MCL, so I had to go in there and then stitch that bad boy up. So
he's someone that this team really rallies around, and he's a motivating and inspiration to this entire group.
Congratulations to Tyler and the Wolverines, who are off to a 2-0 start this season.
On-demand video of the week, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast.
All right, this was a week ago Friday, but the video surfaced earlier this week. Jordan High School wide receiver Spencer Curtis with a one-handed grab. Upon further review, his arm under the ball bounces into his lap. That's a catch, folks. Jordan won the game over Desert Hills and then beat Roy 35-28 Friday to move to 2-0 on the season. And then there's this from a high school football game in Hawaii. This is Stokes Pothello on the return. Little trouble here. Oops, he fumbles the ball. Starts a chain reaction of fumbles. Who's got it? Well, keep your eye on the ball right there. It's Stokes picking it up, and he's loose. Recovers his own fumble, and on the other side of the field, he's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Watch the defender right here. Whoops. Trips his own guy, allowing Pothello to cross the goal line. Fantastic. You don't want to get in the Samoan fire knife fight with BYU offensive coordinator Robert Anai. Last Sunday, we showed you a video of his skill. This week, he answered questions about it.
That is not a flaming baton. That is a Samoan fire knife. Okay? If you ever got stuck with one of those, you'll never forget it. We have the newcomers, the bridge kids, came over to the house the other day, and, you know, just like Boy Scouts, anytime you got fire going around, a lot of guys are interested, they're excited. Yeah, I was having fun with the freshmen.
He's a man of a lot of skills.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It takes a few practice tries to get it down. I tried it, you know, on my mission in New Zealand. They used to fire knife dance all the time, all the missionaries. So yeah, I got a little bit of skill in that.
A little impressed, but I think he's been practicing a lot.
Walked into the staff meeting this morning, and that's what the staff presented. So, yeah, I learned probably the same time everyone else did, which is always nice that I learn when everyone else does.
Did you like his execution?
You know what? He's solid. You just give him, yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Does it make you wonder how many other hidden talents
There's no question. It was, yeah, Pandora's box.
Okay, now if you've never seen one of these, this is a Samoan fire knife. Obviously no fire there, but still looking very, very dangerous. We are so glad that nobody got hurt in the making of that video. Wow, we have to take another break. When we come back, the plays of the week in high school football.
Throws it out and nowhere to go.
Thrilling finishes, rivalries, upsets, and remarkable physical feats. See it all in the Game Night Live highlight reel. It's next.